Yes, he just lost the Super Bowl, but as A.J. Brown said, it's more about the hunt than the one game. And in this hunt of football greatness, Andy Reid isn't just a coach, he's an architect, a mastermind who's built one of the most dominant dynasties the NFL has ever seen. Yes, the Super Bowl loss hurt, but it doesn't diminish what Reid has done. As an NFL head coach, he has 26 playoff wins, the second most ever behind Belichick's 31. Reid is also the only coach ever to win 100-plus games with 2 different franchises. But his journey was never smooth. There have been crushing losses, playoff heartbreaks, and even earlier years where people questioned if he'd ever win the big one. Yet somehow, Reid kept evolving, rewriting the blueprint for offensive football along the way. So how did a former offensive lineman who loves burgers build one of the most dominant dynasties in NFL history? Let's break down the story of Andy Reid. Before he was designing unstoppable offenses and leading championship teams, Andy Reid was just a kid growing up in LA. His father was an artist and his mother a doctor. An unlikely combo for someone destined to live and breathe football. But what set him apart was his size. Reid was so big and talented that when he was just 13, he appeared on national TV during the youth football drill at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. After a solid high school career, Reid earned a spot at Glendale Community College in California, where he proved to be a reliable blocker. His football IQ made him stand out, so it didn't take long for bigger schools to take notice. He soon transferred to BYU, which had an established football program. As an offensive lineman, Reid wasn't in the spotlight, but he played a critical role in protecting the quarterback and opening up the running game. His experience in the trenches gave him a deep understanding of the game, a knowledge he would later use to build some of the most dominant offenses in NFL history. Though he never made it to the pro level as a player, Reid made the most out of his time at BYU. He learned how to read defenses, adapt to complex schemes, and appreciate the finer details of football strategy. Most importantly, it sparked a desire to stay in the game, even if it was not as a player. And that decision would change the NFL forever. Andy Reid didn't waste any time after his playing days were over. He got right into coaching. His journey started at the same place his playing career ended, BYU, where he was made a graduate assistant coach. After BYU, Reid bounced around the college football landscape, making stops at San Francisco State, Northern Arizona, and UTEP. He coached the offensive line at each stop and gained a reputation for being a detail-oriented coach who knew how to get the best out of his players. His big break came in 1992 when the Green Bay Packers hired him as an offensive assistant under Mike Holmgren. By 1997, Reid was promoted to quarterbacks coach, a role that would cement his reputation as one of the brightest minds in football. He was tasked with mentoring Brett Favre, a gunslinging quarterback with a wild playing style. Under Reid's watch, Favre matured into one of the most dangerous passers in the league, winning 3 consecutive MVPs from 1995 to 1997. And Reid's ability to connect with Favre and fine-tune his game didn't go unnoticed. In 1999, the Philadelphia Eagles took a chance on the 41-year-old Reid, hiring him as their head coach. At the time, it was a controversial decision. Reid had never even been a coordinator before, but the Eagles' front office saw something in him. A leader who could not only design a winning offense, but also build a culture of discipline and success. Reid hit the ground running in Philly, drafting quarterback Donovan McNab with the 2nd overall pick in his first season. The pairing of Reid and McNab proved to be electric. Under Reid's guidance, McNab developed into one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league, with the Eagles becoming perennial contenders. From 2000 to 2004, Reid led the Eagles to 5 straight NFC East titles, 4 consecutive NFC Championship games, and a Super Bowl appearance in the 2004 season. However, that elusive Super Bowl continued to haunt him. The Eagles fell to the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 39, and critics began to question whether Reid could ever win the big one. Despite his innovative offensive schemes and consistent regular season success, playoff heartbreaks became a recurring theme in Philadelphia. As the years went on, the pressure mounted, but Reid's ability to develop quarterbacks was still profound. He helped Michael Vick revive his career and turned Kevin Kolb and A.J. Feeley into serviceable starters. But after a disappointing 4-12 season in 2012, the Eagles decided to part ways with their longtime head coach. It was a painful exit for Reid, who had given 14 seasons to the franchise and left as the winningest coach in Eagles history. Many thought that his best days were behind him. The narrative was that he couldn't win the big one, that his time as an elite coach had passed, But the Kansas City Chiefs saw an opportunity. They were a franchise in desperate need of a culture change, coming off a 2-14 season and searching for a leader who could turn things around. When the Chiefs hired Reid in 2013, it marked the beginning of one of the greatest coaching comebacks in NFL history. Reid brought his experience, offensive genius, and ability to connect with players to Kansas City, and the results were immediate. The league would soon find out that Reid wouldn't only save his career, but also create one of the most dominant dynasties they had ever seen. Currently, the Chiefs are one of only 4 teams to win 3 Super Bowls in a 5-year span, joining the 70s Steelers, 90s Cowboys, and the Patriots. They've reached 7 consecutive AFC championships, a feat matched only by the Patriots. And with the modern-day salary cap and parity rule, the NFL is actively working to prevent dynasties like them. But when Andy Reid first arrived in Kansas City, the locker room morale was shattered, and the fan base was desperate for a glimmer of hope. Reid wasted no time in making changes, starting with the quarterback position. His first major move was trading for Alex Smith, a steady but often overlooked quarterback from the San Francisco 49ers. Smith and Reid proved to be the perfect duo to stabilize the Chiefs. Smith wasn't flashy, but he was accurate and rarely made mistakes. Under Reid's leadership, the Chiefs transformed from one of the league's bottom feeders to a playoff contender almost overnight. In his first season, Kansas City went 11-5 and made it to the playoffs. Reid's offensive brilliance was on full display. Known for his ability to scheme players open with creative play designs, he tailored the Chiefs' system around Smith's strengths. The offense relied on quick throws, misdirection, and a powerful running game led by Jamal Charles. In 2013, Charles had a monster season, totaling over 1,900 yards from scrimmage and scoring 19 touchdowns. Reid's play calling maximized Charles's explosiveness, making him one of the most dangerous weapons in the league. But despite regular season success, the postseason struggles that haunted him in Philly followed him to Kansas City. In the 2013 wildcard round, the Chiefs suffered a heartbreaking loss to the Colts, blowing a 28-point lead, the second largest collapse in NFL playoff history. Over the next few seasons, the Chiefs continued to be a force in the AFC. Reid's front office acquisitions and draft choices played a massive role in that. One of the most critical moves came in the 2013 draft when the Chiefs selected tight end Travis Kelce in the 3rd round out of the University of Cincinnati. Kelce quickly emerged as a dynamic weapon, using his elite route running to dominate defenses and become one of the league's best tight ends. In 2016, the Chiefs landed another game-changer, Tyreek Hill. Drafted in the 5th round out of West Alabama, Hill initially made an impact as a return specialist, but he soon blossomed into a lethal wide receiver with game-breaking speed. His ability to stretch the field opened up the Chiefs' offense in ways they had never seen before. In 2015, the Chiefs finally broke through their playoff curse. After starting the season 1-5, they rattled off 10 straight wins to earn a playoff berth. In the wildcard round, they demolished the Texans 30-0, securing their first postseason victory in over 2 decades. Though they lost to the Patriots in the next round, it was clear that Reid was building something special in Kansas City. The Chiefs won the AFC West in both 2016 and 2017, establishing themselves as one of the most consistent teams in the league. But once again, postseason disappointment was the main story. In the 2017 wildcard round, they fell to the Tennessee Titans after blowing a 21-3 halftime lead. Fans wondered if the Chiefs would ever be able to get over the hump. By this point, Alex Smith had become one of the NFL's most efficient quarterbacks under Reid's tutelage. In 2017, he led the league in passer rating and threw for over 4,000 yards with just 5 interceptions. But as great as Smith was, there was a growing sense that the Chiefs had hit their ceiling with him. They were a good team, but not a great one, and Reid knew it was time for a change. So in 2017, he made a bold move that would alter the course of NFL history. The Chiefs traded up in the draft to select a raw but talented quarterback from Texas Tech named Patrick Mahomes. At the time, it was a risky pick. Mahomes was known for his wild gunslinging style, so many doubted whether he could survive in the league playing that way. But Reid saw a player with arm talent, creativity, and that competitive fire. Little did anyone know Mahomes would soon lead the Chiefs to heights they had only dreamed of. Reid built the foundation for this young quarterback, as Kansas City was already a formidable team with powerful weapons. The Chiefs decided to sit Mahomes for most of his rookie season to let him learn behind veteran Alex Smith. a move that proved to be crucial. By 2018, the Chiefs were ready to hand the keys to Mahomes, but the league wasn't ready for what came next. In his first full season as a starter, Mahomes lit up the charts with 5,097 passing yards and 50 touchdowns, becoming only the second quarterback in history to reach the 50-touchdown milestone. His rocket arm, no-look passes, and crazy escapes from defenders made him must-watch TV every Sunday. Under Reid's guidance, Mahomes thrived in a system designed to maximize his talents. His playbook, already known for its creativity, became even more dynamic with Mahomes under center. Plays that once seemed impossible became routine. Tyreek Hill became the perfect deep threat, using his blazing speed to torch defenses, while Travis Kelce continued to dominate as the league's best tight end. The Chiefs' offense became a juggernaut, scoring at will and rewriting record books. But the 2018 season ended in heartbreak as the Chiefs fell short to the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game. Despite Mahomes' heroics, a coin toss in overtime sealed Kansas City's fate without their offense even getting a chance to touch the ball. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but Reid and Mahomes knew they were on the cusp of greatness. The very next season, the Chiefs were unstoppable. Mahomes continued to dazzle, and the defense, led by new coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, finally caught up to the offense. Despite battling injuries, Mahomes led Kansas City to a 12-4 record and their second consecutive AFC Championship game appearance. But this time, there would be no heartbreak. The Chiefs defeated the Tennessee Titans to punch their ticket to Super Bowl 54, their first Super Bowl appearance in 50 years. In the biggest game of his career, Mahomes struggled early, throwing 2 interceptions and trailing the San Francisco 49ers 20-10 midway through the fourth quarter. But just when it seemed all hope was lost, the Chiefs delivered one of the greatest comebacks in Super Bowl history. Mahomes connected with Hill on a clutch 44-yard pass that sparked the rally, and the offense went on to score 21 unanswered points, winning 31-20. After years of postseason heartbreak and criticism, Andy Reid finally claimed his first Super Bowl. But the Chiefs weren't done yet. In 2020, they returned to the Super Bowl after another dominant season. Though they lost to Tom Brady, the GOAT, the Chiefs remained a powerhouse in the AFC. In 2022, after trading Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins, many questioned whether they could maintain their standing. But Reid proved the doubters wrong. Once again, the Chiefs found themselves in the Super Bowl, this time beating the Eagles. But there was one more. In the 2023 season, the Chiefs further continued their dominance, and once again they were holding up the Lombardi to make it 2 straight Super Bowl wins. That victory solidified them as the NFL's premier dynasty and cemented Reid's legacy as one of the greatest coaches of all time. Even in 2024, they managed to finish 15-2 and made it to the Super Bowl, even though they lost badly to the Eagles in the end. But we all know this is far from the end for the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes isn't even 30 yet. And with Andy Reid leading the charge, they will continue to dominate for years to come. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and check out these other videos on the screen.